Right, so DSS has instructed X to ban Sowere X account on Twitter. Anyway, let's take a watch and hear the reactions on our X
Concern
TV.
of the Department of State Security is that we have a law in place, the Criminal Code, the very controversial Cyber Security Act, Sections 18, 22, and 24. Section 24 being the most controversial, particularly as it has been applied by the police. And the DSS is saying, under the laws of our country, we do not allow hate speech or cyberbullying, which will amount to domestic terrorism. And that they, in their own consideration, think that Sowere calling the president of Nigeria a criminal when he has not been so declared by a court of law is beyond the pale. And that was why they wrote to X, managers of X, to say, delete that particular tweet and, in fact, suspend his account. Now, the ex-managers, following due process, contacted him and gave him the information. But how was this resolved at the end of the day? The tweet was on August 27, and Sowere says he's not going to delete any tweet. And I think that X has also not suspended his account. X probably saying, look, he has the right to free speech and all of that. However, he went a step further to say he's defiant, that he's been persecuted by the Nigerian government. And his supporters will say that, in fact, there's probably a case of persecution here from the protest at the toll gate, NSAS, from NSAS protest to arraignment in court to, invitations by the police. And now he says the DSS has also now joined. But that the struggle for him continues. Whether they imprison him, or they take him to court, or they delete his Facebook account, or they delete his X account, that he is committed to the struggle. So, people like Sowere, they are of a different type. He's also an opposition politician. And he says, this is where I stand in this matter. So where do you draw the line, theoretically now, between the right to free speech and, the laws of the land that talk about his speech, and where is the responsibility of government in enforcing these laws? It's a very tight rope. There's no way you will swing and you will not end up, being accused of taking sides in the matter. However, what is important is that while the government has a responsibility to respect the boundaries in terms of the rights of the individual, individuals also, while expressing their rights under Section 39 of the Constitution, must also realize that, look, where your right stops is where other people's rights begin. And that is why government, individuals, they have the recourse, if they have been defamed, to under the same laws that the state is quoting, to defamation. The president of Nigeria can sue. If you call him a criminal, you can be asked to come and prove it in a court of law. If you defame another person using social media, you can be sued to come and prove it. So it's a very delicate balance in respecting the rights of individuals and also upholding the law.
All right, you know that Sowere also accused the Tinubu regime of using the Nigeria police force to systematically harass, torture, and persecute him. These tweets have gone viral. Rufai, I'd like to just highlight this. The DSS is a secret service institution that investigates crimes against the state. They are also empowered to protect the president. So this might sound really, strange to a lot of people, but however, the DSS is doing their job. And I'd like to also take another tweet before I come to you. Just also to note that the DSS has said that, they are going to go after X as well as, Sowere, if they don't comply. We had that issue the last time with Muhammadu Buhari, the Twitter ban. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but let me take this tweet from Chinedu, who wrote to the DSS. Are you guys not aware of the mayhem that happened in Edo State? They killed officers like you, and you are here lamenting about a tweet from Sowere, and that's the sort of rhetoric that we are seeing online at this point.
I have been a very big advocate of the DSS and what they've been doing in stemming the tides of insecurity. But if I'm going to give honest counsel, this was not the right way to go about it. And this is sad. You see, what they have now done is, a lot of people might not even have seen Sowere's tweets. He said he tweeted it on the 27th.
Yes.
26th of August.
Was it, I think it was 25th I saw.
What are we today?
Yeah.
What are we today? 8th. I only knew about the tweets because they started talking about it and the letter they wrote over the weekend.
That's when you saw Sowere's tweet.
I didn't even know that he tweeted anything of that nature. This is not the way to go about it. Because, you see, we live in a country where, when we want to look at things on the pedestal of fairness, yes, what I would just say is it wasn't right to have called the president a criminal. You don't have any court judgment to be able to back that up. But secondly, the other part of the tweets, what the president also went to say in Brazil, that corruption is gone. Corruption is not gone from Nigeria. We also know that corruption is not gone. On my point on the DSS, what is happening is the fact that when you start to say, okay, let's cherry pick, people will now ask you, what about what is happening in Edo where NSCDC officials were killed? Why do we talk about? What about the people inciting violence online? Because the DSS statement talked about inciting violence, and the next thing, you are not doing anything. We are in this country when Bayo Ononuga came out openly to say that this should be the last time the Igbo should put mouth in Lagos politics.
Right.
And he also doubled down on the statement. Why didn't we have a level of control and contrition? So that's why I said going through this route is a route that will not benefit anybody.
All right.
That's just my point.
That's your point.
Can I just make a point?
And highlighting what Rufai has said,
Yes,
which is quite
just highlight, yeah.
The fact that there are so many other ex-users that have made these sort of derogatory remarks or even, statements, it's quite apt because the DSS should go after everybody and not cherry pick, which I like as well. But I would like for you to buttress the point I was making
I just wanted
earlier.
to say that for me, what would really matter would be when Sowere made the statement, after the clarification or before.
He made it before.
Before the clarification.
So,
okay, it was before the clarification, then I can understand why he put it. But following the clarification, I do believe that if he continues down that path, then he's just deliberately wanting to attack what has already been clarified. Yes, it's not a good look for the president's statements to be frequently clarified, but he does have the right to do so.
He does.
You can speak
and
off the cuff,
and
then you can clarify your statement in his defense, because we've seen situations where they make a statement and they stand by that statement, irrespective. So do whatever you want to do. They stand by that statement. So following the facts, then I would say, okay, I understand where they're coming from. But I totally agree that the challenge with this is selective justice and selective action, which the DSS has been accused of doing. But beyond that, I must say that there's no one that's above the law. In 2021, the President of the United States account was banned by Twitter itself, following statements that were deemed to be inflammatory when he talked about the calling patriots, the people who invaded, Capitol Hill. So it does happen, and that's why they called for an outright ban, that if this account consistently misleads people or could instigate, unrest based on information that is not fully correct, then they can take an action. However, I do hope that the DSS, since they want to be, they are really, the action is there to clamp down on hate. They can't cherry pick. If they are doing it to Sowere to show that it is not targeted and agreeing with what he says that he has been a target since NSAS, they need to ensure that a lot of people, and I can give them a lot of handles, whether it is causing ethnic division, inciting ethnic, rhetorics. There are a lot on social media.
So the Cyber Crimes Act just came into law, right? And we hope that we follow up with the DSS and they follow those, accounts that have, shared inflammatory statements, bigoted statements that we have seen so far, government officials as well. And like I said, the DSS is an institution that investigates crime. They're well within their right to investigate anything that they deem to be a crime. Well, let's take this.
We've always said it. I said it that, APC generally is a selective government. When it affects them, they come after you. And when it does not affect them, they don't care. Imagine if Sowere was slashing Obi. They won't even bother themselves. Imagine Sowere castigating Obi or any other politicians, maybe Atiku. Let me know, do you think that DSS will come after Sowere and be asking X to bind their Sowere's account, for calling out another politician? They will never do that because it does not concern them. Now it concerns their principal, it concerns Tinubu, it concerns APC, and now they are trying to make something out of it. There's no how we can move forward if we continue this way. Like, seriously. But I think I love the response from Rufai. If they've actually not make out anything from this, people wouldn't have even known. He said he went viral because they started going after Ban Sowere X account. They started making something, nothing. They started making something out of it, and people, it now went viral. People started, picking interest on it. But the serious thing is, a lot of them in government have made quite a number of threats, but you won't see them take any actions. You won't see them take any, but because it does not concern them. But now that the one that concerns them, and now you now see them running after Sowore to ban his account, to shut him down, to make him. Anyway, I really thank God that Sowore too is a very wise person. Thank God for X too. Haven't examined the situations. It's a very dicey one, just like Dr. Abasi explained. It's a very dicey one. But the thing is, I would wish that the president will sue Sowore to court. Let him just try it. I want to check something. I just want to find out something. I wish that the president can sue Sowore. Let's take this matter to court and let us see how it plays out. Maybe Sowore has something to tell us that is waiting for us to meet in court. I can't wait. I can't imagine how funny and it actually going to look like. So that is just the gospel truth about the whole thing. If it does not affect the government, they don't care. But when it affects them, you see them coming after you. Look at the incessant, unrest that is going on in the state. They leave what they are supposed to go after and chasing after rat. The person that the house is burning is not looking for water to quench the fire. It's chasing after rats that is running away from the fire. That is just exactly what this government is doing. Amidst of all the unrest, all the problems, all the economy, everything that people are passing through, is Sowore's tweet that they are after.